Do you like to fish? I do. But one thing I know, without the proper bait, you're never going to hook a fish on the line. Hi, I'm Eva Marie Everson, CEO of Word Weavers International and best-selling author. If you want to know more about me, go to evamarieeversonauthor.com. But if you want to know more about Word Weavers, go to word-weavers.com. Before I begin today, I would like to give a little shout out to my new friends at Scriven Christian Academy in Sylvania, Georgia. I have to tell you that going to your school and teaching you a little bit about writing is one of the highlights of my career. And I hope you are continuing in what you're doing with your writing. It's very important. Okay, let's talk about today's common mistake writers make. And what in the world it has to do with fish? If you don't hook your reader right away, page one, paragraph one, sometimes line one, then you are not going to be able to sustain holding on to that fish, which means holding on to that reader. It is a common mistake that writers make, not putting enough emphasis on those first lines, those first paragraphs, that first page. We know from research that when potential readers walk into a bookstore, first thing they do is they look at the cover. Second thing they do is they read the back cover copy. And if they're intrigued, they open up the book to page one. If you can hook your reader in page one, in those first few lines, in those first few statements, sentences, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, then you have someone who is going to purchase your book and read your work. And of course, that is why we do what we do. We do what we do so someone will read our work. This is not just something we like to do frivolously, throwing words on paper and just then scattering them to the wind. That is not what we're doing. I want to talk to you just for a moment about one of my favorite books on writing the beginnings of books, especially for fiction. And I'm not sure how this is going to come out, if it's going to come out backward or exactly the way it's supposed to. But the title of the book is Hooked, and it is by Les Edgerton. I want to make sure I've got that right. Sometimes I want to put an S in there, but it's Les Edgerton. Highly recommend this little book because it's not that big. As you can see the fish? Okay, so you want to make sure you hook your reader. Now, on the flip side of that, we have what we call information dump. And that means that you are telling too much in the beginning that your reader will not need to know right away. What I want you to do for a moment is just think about your own life. Let's say you live to be 80. If you experienced everything of your 80 years, every event in your 80 years within the first few moments of life, well, that wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. But if you get to be 80, you're going to look back and realize that life came at you sometimes quickly and most of the time slowly. So you want to take the information that you have to give, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, and just kind of scatter it through. Think of it as slowly casting a line. Well, you wouldn't put all of those worms or crickets or whatever type of bait that you use on the line, would you? No, of course not. You wouldn't put it all on the hook. You do this slowly over time. So be careful about what we call information dump. Just recently, I had a work that I sent off. It's my upcoming novel, my work in progress, as we call it, titled Beth Betancourt. Sent it to some people to look at. And the first thing they said was, wow, information dump at the very beginning. I was actually surprised. When I went back and looked, I realized I did have information dump at the beginning. So this is not something that just new writers have an issue with, but some of us older writers have an issue with it as well. So remember, you want to hook your reader, but you don't want to put every worm on the line, right? Right. Again, my name is Eva Marie Everson. I'm the CEO of Word Weavers International. And until the next time we see each other, well, right on.